Hey, what's up? My name's Neil Benson, and in the month of January 2023, my family of 5 played the Minimalist Game. Now, if you've never heard of the Minimalist Game, it's this challenge that I heard of, and you get rid of like one item, or you sell it, or you throw it away, or you donate it, like January 1st. And then January 2nd, you do that same thing, but for 2. So January 5th is 5, January 20th is 20, and my family tracked our entire progress on this calendar here. And at the very top, you might be able to see that I did the math, and at the end, it was supposed to be 496 items. Now, if you wait till later in this video, I'll tell you exactly how many items we gave away, and a little hint, it's more than that. But first off, where did we find this? So in the end of December, I was reading a book. I think it's by a lady named Rachel Cruze, and it's called Know Yourself, Know Your Money. I'm pretty sure that's the title of the book. And in that book, she talks about money, finances, saving your money. She talks about like paying off debt and paying off your house early. It's a phenomenal book. But there was this like kind of little section where she talked about the minimalist game. And so I talked to my wife about it, and I said, hey, honey, what do you think if we do the minimalist game? And she was all in. I was super stoked and just excited that we got to stack hands on this. And so we started processing it through. What does it look like for us to realistically do this? And so the reality of it, in the first week, in the first 7 days, you get rid of 28 items. That's the math I did. The next week, you get rid of 67 more items. Week 3, you get rid of 126 items from your home. Week 4, 175 items. And check this out, in the last 3 days, you get rid of 100 items out of your house. And so my wife and I were a little like, we want to get this thing done. And so we started processing this through in December. I might have started listing things on eBay and Facebook to sell earlier just because we wanted to get them out of our house and we wanted to get rid of them. Now, you got to start asking yourself, and I'm going to tell you about the selling part here in a little bit in this video, but you might be asking yourself, Neil, where do I find all of that to get rid of? And I think that's a great question. And one of the things that, well, let me tell you several places that we found. One of them was our closet. We have 3 children, and so we realized, let's check their closets too. I don't know if you're like me, but maybe you have a pair of shorts you've been saving that you haven't worn in a couple of years, or you have this shirt that you really think you're going to love, but you never really do, or you have 3 kids like we do, and you just haven't gone through their drawers in a while and seen what there's available. And so we went through their drawers and we donated a bunch of stuff to Goodwill. I think that's one of the cool things about this is giving things away. We worked with our son who's 7 years old, and we talked to him about cleaning up his toys and giving them away. And I'm not sure if he was really excited about it or not, and we might have done it without his knowledge, but they're gone. The toys are out of the house. I started looking through my clothes, and I started actually listing things on Poshmark, and I want to tell you about selling things later, but I sold a lot of clothes that way through that one avenue. My wife one day, she just started cleaning out the closet. She's throwing items on the ground. She's going through her whole closet. And I think that's part of this is you just kind of take everything and throw it down, sort of put everything out of its place so you can reorient yourself on what you're doing. One of the things that I did, one of the areas that I got involved in is I really knew I needed to clean my nightstand. And I realized this early on in the month of January, but I was putting it off till later. And I knew early on I needed to because I opened my drawer one day and I had this like Lego plastic package from one of those like $4 or $5 Lego packs for my kids. And it was just trash. And it just hit me, why do I have trash in here? And how long has it been here? And I started digging around a little, and I found this stack of old pay stubs. I ended up counting it because we're doing the minimalist challenge, and I needed to get rid of all of these items. We even wrote down what we got rid of. And for me, it was 45 pay stubs. Now, someone might say that should count as one, but it was 45 different pay stubs that were there. Now, as we continued to go through those drawers later on, I actually asked my daughter if she would help me. And in my bottom drawer, I had a bunch of stuff, some GoPro stuff, and I listed that on Facebook Marketplace. I'll tell you later how much I made by selling everything. But I sold this GoPro clamp that I wasn't using, and I sold this GoPro tripod that I wasn't using. And it was just these items that I'd had, but I just haven't used them in a while, and I'm not that active using my GoPro anymore. I got to the second drawer, and it's where I keep all the Apple phone boxes and Apple Pencil boxes and Apple Watch boxes that our family owns. And my daughter, who was helping me, she said, "Dad, can I open these?" And she opened all of them. She found 5 cables in there. I actually ended up selling, I think I sold 2 Apple Watch cable, like Apple Watch charging cords, and I sold 3 Apple iPhone cords, a USB-C to Lightning. You say, "Neil, why did you sell 3? Well, because I had 5. And that's not including the cords and cables that we already have here around our house. And, there was a lot in our house that we could just get out. Let me read to you some of the things on here. 1 broken spoon, CDs that we never used, 5 puzzles that we never played with, DVDs that were just that. Literally, it says trash by the DVDs. I think there was just literally trash, like, in the DVD box. 7 pieces of letterhead. What am I keeping this letterhead for? Stickers. Some Volcom chinos, some Volcom shorts that I sold. I sold some car seats, and I gave away a shirt. I sold an iPhone, an old iPhone that was just sitting in a drawer. Old pay stubs. My wife has on here 19 items of clothing, 8 items of clothing, 3 mugs, 13 Christmas books that we're not using, 7 old vases. The list goes on and on. Even just today, even though we're done with the challenge, our internet died, and I opened up a cupboard, and within that cupboard was 2 boxes that I didn't even know were there. An old box for some snowboard boots, and an old box. It's an old iPad box. Why were we keeping that? Why do I have this stashed away in this place that I'm never going to use it again? I ended up cleaning out our junk drawer. How many of you have a junk drawer that just like keeps growing and growing and growing? I think I cleaned 40 items out of the junk drawer. I literally opened it up because I was talking to a coworker about this. I opened up the junk drawer, and the first 3 things I pulled out, I took everything out of it. The first 3 things that I pulled out were trash. Just trash. I don't know how long they'd been in there, some empty bag, and I don't know why it was there. I can't give you a good reason. I can't give you a good answer for that. But I do know that it was there, and so I cleaned that out. We have another drawer over here in our kitchen where all these cables are, and I don't know about you. I just have all these extra cords. I got this other thing kind of right over here in my kitchen. I might even be able to show it to you. It's this black thing. I'll actually show you what we did in there. We cleaned out all these old cables and cords and CDs, and in there we have our printer, but we just had items stacked on top of it, and I was like, what is all this in here? So we started selling things, selling them on eBay, selling old homeschool books, selling kids' shoes. We gave away a light. We sold an old DVD player. I might even try to show you some screenshots of some of the things that we sold on here. And we were just able to sort of get them out of the house. And I was really surprised with how easy it was on Facebook Marketplace to sell things. There were actually items that I posted, and people wanted them so bad that they would Venmo me, and they would just come to the house later and grab them. We had people put money under the doormat. I probably shouldn't tell you that. Next time you come to my house to hang out, you're going to check under the doormat. But these are just easy ways that you can do that. I think some people have a struggle with selling on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm not quick to give my address away. I want to let you know that. I really do. People ask right away, what's your address? I had this guy, I sold the iRobot, the Roomba vacuum. And we had listed it. We bought this thing. I loved it. But every time I run it, my dog goes crazy. And so we just don't use it. So I listed on Facebook Marketplace. I sell it within 14 hours. This guy says, what's your address? And I gave him my address, which I normally don't do. Normally when someone asks what's my address, I'll tell them what my cross streets are. I'll say something really polite like, hey, I've had a lot of people flake on me. Here's my cross streets. Just message me when you're on the way, and I'll give you my address right away. And that's really helped kind of weed out some of the non-serious versus the serious people on there. And now I will say I've listed things, and I probably got 10 items that are still sitting on there, items that just haven't sold, and I couldn't tell you why. I had some good luck selling on eBay and just getting rid of some items that way, and listing stuff. I listed some things on eBay that they'll probably never sell, and I'm okay with that. That's fine, but maybe we'll eventually give them away. And some of them I probably shouldn't have listed. It probably wasn't the best idea to put those things up, but we were just trying. We wanted to do our best to get these things out of there. When you look at how easy it is to sell on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, you just got to get over that fear, get over that initial hump of doing that. And let me tell you why. I told you a couple times I'm going to tell you how much money I made. I think in this month of January, I made over $500 selling. And that's selling used homeschool books, those Apple chargers, a DVD player, shoes, Apple charging watches, a Stein that was left in our house from the previous owner that we sold. Those clothes, I think I sold $130 worth of clothes on Poshmark. And that's great. That's money that's going to help our family. That's going to go into a new car fund for us that we can do. It's money we're going to take and use on a vacation maybe, or something of that nature. But I just think there's so many different ways, and there's different places that you can look in your house to make this a reality. Now, let me tell you my regret. My wife and I were talking about this in bed the other night, and she threw away some old journals, and she said, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have thrown those away. And so if you are going to play this minimalist game, if you are going to try to get rid of 496 items, we ended up getting rid of 715 items that I have tracked. We ended up going to a tally list down here on the bottom. 715 items out of our house, sold, donated, thrown away, recycled. And maybe you can't do that. We're a family of 5. But what I would say is, if you think you're going to use it again, don't do it. We had enough clothes that we could donate them, clothes we weren't wearing. We had clothes that we could sell. We had things that we could list and sell in different places. But as I look at this time and I think about this minimalist game, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And I think what it does is it puts you in this habit of kind of asking, why do I have this? Like even as I looked at this list, why did we keep a broken spoon? Why was there trash in the drawer next to my bed? Why do we have trash in our junk drawer? Why do we have these clothes that they don't bring us happiness, and we don't wear them? Let's sell them to someone else. Let's donate them. Let's bless some other people. Let's bring them some happiness. And so if you're thinking about playing the minimalist game, that's the thoughts from a dad who played the minimalist game in January 2023. If you have played it, I'd love for you to leave a comment. I'd love to hear some other ways that you cleaned out your house, some other things that maybe you gave away, some creative ways. I think a creative way could be to have a yard sale, to even drum up more kind of attention for a yard sale. You could get your neighbors involved in that yard sale. I would also say you're going to make more money selling things on eBay, Facebook, Poshmark, Mercari. I've never really had good luck on OfferUp, but those are just some ideas for you to do that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the minimalist game, and I hope this helps you. If you decide, hey, I'm going to do this minimalist game, and I'm going to play that and get rid of these items, I'd love to hear if this inspires you to do that.